welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about sorry, this car in front of me is all 45 was right about everything. Donald Trump back blue. Anyway, I wanted to talk about how I got over my disordered eating, like body dysmorphia that I was suffering from so badly, like last year. I'd say for the last 3 years it's been on and off, and now I'm just kind of like, fuck it. Like I kind of am like I don't know, like something just clicked in my head. I like started to look at my mom friends who are not stick figures, like my friends who have, you know, like me, have health issues, and like with the exception of maybe one or two of my friends, most of my friends aren't in perfect shape. So I think part of it has been like my husband. Also, like when we were down in LBI over the summer, he's kind of like I was like kind of like down on myself about my weight, and he's just like, look around, like there's like most of the people here are not in shape, and I do, and then I'm like, oh, you know what, like he's right. And the same thing like would happen when I would go to the pool with my mom. It's like, I feel like the Nazareth pool. Everybody's like, you know, normal looking. But I feel like the Banger pool, like there was lots of hot moms. So, something that I did that kind of helped was to kind of like revisit my clothing. I got rid of everything that was too small. And I mean, I'm talking last year or the year before, I got rid of probably like 6 tubs of clothes, because from being the same size, I was like I'd say from the time I was like 19 until the time I was like 30. So let's see, I had Xavier, I was 31. I'm trying to think, like, so I think I was like 34 is when I started to gain weight from the Remicade. But in between that, if you follow my channel and if you've read or watched my videos, I'm sure that you've heard me discuss that I was down to 103 pounds, and then 6 months later I had gained 50 pounds. Another 6 months after that I had gained even more. I was up to almost the highest I've ever been when we went to Ocean City, Maryland, and I was absolutely miserable because I was the fat girl, and I was just so disgusted with myself. I looked pregnant. I mean, I still look pregnant, but now I'm kind of like, I got thick thighs and pretty eyes. No. And sorry, I just decided to do this video now because like I've been thinking about it a lot, and I figured I might as well do it while I had the time and had it on my mind. So like I started to go through like Instagram and delete and unfollow like all the like perfect fitness model accounts and fitness influencers that are like 20 and never were fat in their lives. Or maybe if they were fat, it was like 10 pounds overweight. It was never like a, you know, larger amount of weight to lose. I kind of just started like accepting that like this is my body right now, and like I can love my body the way that it is right now because I've had 2 babies. Gave me my babies. I've been healthy with my Crohn's, like knock on wood, since I've been off for other things like psoriatic arthritis, things like that. A lot of the drugs are prescribed for the same, like the same drugs are prescribed for like Crohn's that might also be prescribed for psoriatic arthritis or RA. So anyway, you can also have what's called a drug-induced like autoimmune or something. So when I was on the Humira, I had the drug-induced lupus-like reaction. And then when I was getting off the Remicade, I was having like the swelling of like my wrists and my fingernail, not my fingernails, my fingers, and like even like my elbows. It was so bizarre. So I had seen a rheumatologist that another girl I know that has psoriatic arthritis, and I guess she sees this doctor. She had seen her, and that was who she referred me to. It took me like 6 months, and in that 6 months, when I was waiting to get the appointment, I was weaning off of I was on like 3 or 4 rounds of steroids. They weren't long rounds of steroids, but like any amount of steroids, like I gained weight and I'm miserable, and gives me like mania, like, and not in a good way. So in those 6 months, I had continued to gain weight. Before I got pregnant with Amaya, I was trying to lose weight, and I wasn't losing weight, and I had gone to my GI, I went to an endocrinologist, I went to the rheumatologist, and I said, listen, I have never been this heavy in my life. I know that it's a medication. They want to blame it on my pregnancy, and I'm like, listen, I was in better shape after I had my son. It's not the pregnancy. Like, I was fat, like, before I got pregnant with her, but I couldn't lose weight, like not even a pound. And then just adding the steroids onto it just made it worse. So it was a huge struggle and like a mind fuck, because I had been 100 pounds the year before, or 2, I don't know, I can't even remember at this point. I feel like it was like 2018 is when I started to get really sick, and then I was sick for like almost a year. But I had gotten down to my lowest weight ever. Like, I literally had no boobs. They were like, it was like honestly sick. Like looking back at pictures of me now, like the weight that I am now, looking back at pictures of me even like before, like when I was pregnant with Xavier, I'm like, man, like where's my ass? Like, like it's just like, I don't know, like I was always super thin, and I maintained it except for like my college freshman 15 or whatever, and then the times that I have been on steroids. But the doctors basically like kind of dismissed me, like, you know, medical gaslighting bullshit. Like, I told my GI, like, listen, I am on the brink of I felt like I was on the brink of developing an eating disorder, and like I like food, I love to eat, and that's why when I'm sick with my Crohn's, it's really hard for me, because like you want to eat things, but you know if you eat it, it's gonna make you sick. So in that sense, like I always would say it's like almost like reverse anorexia. Like you want to eat, but you can't, and with anorexia, you don't eat. So I don't know if it's even really reverse, whatever. But anyway, so I just kind of like accepted the fact that like this is my body right now, and I don't have to dislike it, but I don't want to hate it, you know? Like, this is the body that plays with my kids, and this is the body that gave me my babies, and I've done 36 years of life in this body. And yeah, it's not the best body, because let's face it, I had, you know, serious joint inflammation, especially when I was on the Remicade and everything, but it's you only get one. So it's like people take their health for granted unless they get sick. And then when you get sick, it's like the only thing that you want is to be better, to be able to eat and things like that. And I don't know, I feel like I just went off on a crazy tangent, but I just think like a lot of it was like a mind shift and kind of like the whole body positivity. I think that's been going on the last, like, I'd say like the last 5 years, I think is when things, like, I feel like women as a whole, like, we've had enough bullshit. We've had enough with the whole Me Too, like, we're calling people out, we're saying fuck you to, you know, that guy, the Victoria's Secret guy, like, all the Hollywood creeps and all these things, like, you know what I mean? Like, we are just saying fuck you to the industry standards because they're not attainable and they're airbrushed, and even more so now, like, more than ever. It's like you go on Instagram and it's like, honestly, I just had to unfollow a lot of people because it was like, I'm going and I'm watching stories and I'm seeing things and people are like looking perfect and their makeup is like amazing, and I'm like, here I am with like bushy ass eyebrows. They haven't been done in months. I have freaking furry lip. Like, I couldn't, like, it wasn't on my best day. With a whole face beat of makeup, I was never gonna look like that. So for me to be kind of like putting myself in the mindset that like these realistic expectations, like, is totally unfair. And, you know, like, back before social media and all that, like, I remember in college I wrote a book, and I mean, I say before social media, like, Facebook was just starting, okay, when I was in college. I think it was my sophomore year. They made it so that it was not exclusive colleges, but EDU addresses, and then I got it. So basically I've grown up on Facebook. But before that stuff was all out, I had done a paper on like the media's influence on, not like the psyche, the female psyche, but like the media's influence on young girls and how it affects them and their body image. And now, like, I kind of want to read that paper. I actually found it, like, I think it might be here, or in one of my files. I found it when I was moving, like, stuff for the house. But I kind of would like to read it and then kind of like go back and see how it was pre-social media, I'm saying, even though it was really only, it was like Facebook and MySpace was social media back then, and like Live FM and My Journal or some shit, I don't even remember. Like hotornot.com. My mom yelled at me for being on that. I don't know, I just think like it's a lot of things, but there's a lot of ways that you can combat feeling badly about how you look after you have kids, or, you know, after you have a medical situation, or just like in generally like getting older. Like, yeah, it'd be great if I wasn't the size that I am right now, but my confidence is a million times better than it was, like, I don't know if it was a year and a half ago, whenever it was that we went down to, I guess it was only a year ago. Maybe at this point it's like almost a year and a half ago. I can't even talk. But I think the things that really helped me were to follow like bloggers, vloggers, Instagram, you know, social media influencers that were actually normal weight, like mid-size is what they call it. And, you know, prior to, after me having Amaya, I had never been, I think, bigger than a size 12, I think, or 11. maybe I had like 13, but like that's teenage size, like that's you know, junior sizes. But I had always been single digit sizes, right? So being last year and the, you know, after, like when I was pregnant with Amaya, I was like double X, like 1X, 2X, but I don't know. I think like extra large and plus size sizings are like really fucked up too. Like the same thing with underwear. Like what is up with the sizes of underwear? I don't understand. Like how is a 7 a large? Like to me, a large should be like 10 through 16, and then, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a size 16 right now. Like I'm literally double the size that I used to be. I used to be like between size 4 to size 8, and I was like between, I said, like a 6 and an 8, like for most of my adult life. So as you can imagine, it was, you know, extremely hard to navigate like the feelings about my body, because I didn't want to feel badly about how I looked. I never ever had a bad body image. But I also was always thin, so of course I didn't have a bad body image. I mean, I had insecurities like cellulite, and my cheeks were always chubby, and I always felt like if I get too chunky, I lose my chin. And I mean, chunky for me was like 140, like medium. I still was fitting into mediums and stuff. Now I'm like slowly getting down to like non plus size, so I'm feeling better about myself. But I really think that following influencers like Shelby Say What, and I really like the Grow with Joe on YouTube. Like she has videos of her when she was postpartum, and she has like a little gut, and she's in the one video like flapping it around. Like just to see people that are in the position I'm in, and then they do something about it, and then they actually achieve those goals, it kind of gives me more of a hope to actually get on board and get going again. I think that's one of the things that's been hard for me in the last like 6 months or so, because we were selling our house, I started a new job, like things have been really crazy in my life. And prior to that, in July, I was like walking like, I don't know, maybe a mile, 2 miles, but it was up my hills where I lived, and the town that we lived in, like they had very steep hills, so it was definitely a workout. And I would use that app 99 Walks. I really liked it because it was like really positive, and there were things about, you know, body image and things like that. So like if there's certain things that you are struggling with, or you want to kind of dive into deeper, like why am I feeling like this, they have really good things. I guess you would call it like, it's almost like a podcast, but it's within their app. I think it's really called like a playlist. But driving by where I saw the loose pigs last week or the week before, I have to go drop some stuff off at the post office because I sold some stuff on Poshmark, and then I'm gonna go back to my house. But yeah, like I really think that something that has helped me has been, number one, working. And obviously like that's not going to be something that every mom can do, especially the moms that are stay-at-home moms, you know, specifically for that reason. Is this bus broken down? What's happening here? I have that damn Victoria's Secret song stuck in my head. So, oh, stop signs on the ground. I wonder if they hit it. Anyway, I think just kind of like addressing the fact that like I don't have to look like this forever. I'm not going to look like this forever. My body is going to change. That's another thing that like my husband helped me kind of recognize, is like my body is not going to be the body that I had when I met him when I was 22, 24, or even, like, I'm not going to have the same body I had when I was 19. Like, you look at people that are 19 and you're like, oh my God, they're so tiny. Like, I'm not going to look like that when I'm 45. And if I do, like, holy shit, great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a race in life. And there's not, like, if you're doing it for yourself, then that's great. But, like, you have to want to change yourself if you're not happy with it. And I know that. And, like, that's what I was trying to get to when I started to go off on the tangent and I saw the bus. But, you know, I was working out 3 times a week at least, and I was trying to up it to 4 times a week. But then we started moving, and life has been insane since then. But I think, like, I've just been trying to do things to take better care of myself. And honestly, as much as the fast food that I've eaten in the last 4 to 5 months, like, and unhealthy food and lack of exercise, I still closed a lot of my rings on my watch, still drank a lot of water, and I still did a lot of movement. You know, like, moving is very physical. Like, it's not fun. But I think also something else that I did was go out and buy, like, bigger clothes that fit and made me feel good about how I look. You know, like, I used to be like a pear-shaped body shape, but I think now I'm more like whatever, hourglass, I think. I don't know, because my boobs are a lot bigger now. Even if they're not that big anymore. I honestly have no idea what size bra I am, but I definitely look at pictures of myself from when I was pregnant and think, like, oh my God, I was so, like, I had a lot of people comment about my weight when I was pregnant the second time, and, like, yeah, I knew I was fat, but, like, for people to comment about the size of how big I was when I was already having these issues, like, it was really hurtful, really painful. And, like, I had people say to me, like, oh my God, who is that person? I can't believe they said that. Because I had people say to me, are you sure you don't have twins? When I went to get my gestational diabetes, the freaking bitch at LabCorp pissed me off. She was like, oh yeah, you have gestational diabetes. And I'm like, bitch, can you read my fucking blood sugar from looking at my face? Like, fuck off. I was so fucking pissed. Like, and then I ended up not having it. Like, just because I was fat doesn't mean that you can talk to me like that. Made me so mad. And I was growing a baby, for fuck's sake. Like, my first pregnancy, I was like, you couldn't even tell I was pregnant from the back until I turned to the side. So that was like Xavier. I had a basketball belly, but he was also laying across my torso, and he was up in my ribs, and it was so painful. But Amaya was head down at like 20 weeks, and that was super painful because I felt like everything was gonna fall out of my vajayjay. But that's neither here nor there. Oh, wrong place. But I think, you know, I've gotten some clothes from, like, ThredUp. My mom's given me a lot of clothes that don't fit her or didn't fit her or haven't fit her in a while. I get a lot of clothes off of, like, ThredUp, and actually there's a consignment shop that I want to go to. There's this newer consignment shop over here by me that I want to check out, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's definitely a process, and I sought out, like, a therapist that worked with people with IBD, which is Crohn's disease, and I sought out somebody that was going to help me kind of, like, accept my body. And although I didn't actually read the things she told me to read, just, like, some of the things that she said to me, like, when I was in my appointments with her, like, kind of made me realize, like, this is ridiculous. Like, I remember one instance in particular, like, I was like, I want to say, I was talking about something, and I was like, oh yeah, but that's like 300 calories. And she kind of was like, well, like, how many calories do you think should be in a meal? And I'm like, I don't know, but like, you know, it's like so much of my mind was geared towards how many calories, how much weight, and like, how skinny am I? And now I'm kind of like, I'm not as skinny as I want to be, but I eat what I want. I've been trying to eat better because, like I said, it was like 4 months of like crappy food. Trying to eat salads for lunches and things like that. This is all crooked. Now I'm sitting still and it's bugging me. But you just kind of have to go with it and accept the fact that, like, you're not always gonna look how you used to look, but it's not like, it's not the end of the world. It might seem like the end of the world because you look at yourself and you're like, oh, I hate how I look, but I don't hate how I look anymore. So I feel like I conquered that, like my body image issues. Sorry, I want to pack this box with stuff in it. So, like, I remember trying on bathing suits before we went to Ocean City, Maryland, and like literally crying because of how my bottom half looked specifically. Like, I was mortified by the cellulite that I had. And now I see myself in the mirrors, and I said to my husband, oh, these mirrors are way lower than the bathroom mirrors we had, because our house was old. My in-laws' house is newer. But I mean, yeah, it's not like I'm happy to see cellulite, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, who the fuck cares? Everyone has cellulite. Even when I was thin, I had it, you know, like, so that's just part of life. It's not going to go away. Like, what can I do that I can actually change? You know what I mean? And I can change if I stop following and watching people that make me feel like shit about myself, because either they are having a million airbrushing done on their pictures, or filters, or plastic surgery. Like, that's not sustainable, and that is not realistic. And on that note, I think I'm gonna leave. So thanks so much for joining. I hope you have a great day. And if you have any accounts that you like to follow that also have helped you, or if you're struggling with this, feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram. You know, I'm always looking. Sorry, I keep looking because I'm sitting at this post office and there's lots of cars going by me. I'm always looking for more accounts to follow that are not like, I want to help you lose weight. Like, if I get a friend request, I'm sorry, I'm like going off on a tangent, but if I get a friend request from somebody I don't know, the first thing I do is go to their Facebook page, and if I see anything about It Works or anything like that, I'm like, delete. I guess it's like so aggravating. Like, my body and my health conditions and the lack of weight, or the amount of weight that I do need to lose, is not something for you to peddle things at. Like, that's not fair. Like, and especially with postpartum, like, we need to stop like focusing on women's bodies and their weight and how men think that they can control us and everything. Anyway, before I get crazy, let's end this here. If you reached this far, thanks so much for watching. Check next time, and I will try to put the vloggers and bloggers and Instagram and whatever people on my account that I like and I like to watch, that have helped me kind of like accept my body for what it is right now and not hate it. Like I said, like, I obviously still, like, there's things I'm insecure about, but it's like, you can only do so much. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and don't forget to comment below.